The work of Donald Judd fascinates me. It's sort of using cheap materials and getting a lot of response out of it.
The idea of creating architecture with equally modest materials was a striking feature of Gary's most significant early building, his own home.
I think certainly his house, his first unbridled expression of a bunch of ideas, where the notion of new and old and unfinished and raw and finished all clashing together was first expressed. It was definitely a pretty radical thing to look at. He bought an old, pink of all things, pink Dutch colonial house, about as ordinary and conventional a suburban house as you could imagine, and then proceeded to sort of partly deconstruct it, expand it, alter it, and radically transform it, and yet the original house never disappeared. You could always see elements of the original house in it.
I think he made a breakthrough with the house. It's funky because LA is kind of tinny and, mesh and stuff like that. Also the idea of collage. Collage them together. And that was a very kind of refreshing moment to be almost abstract. His connection to the art world inspired him.
The trigger for me was Rauschenberg, certainly, because I was trained to be perfect. Perfect detailing, edges, everything just right. I started doing small houses and remodeling, and the clients couldn't afford perfect craftsmanship. I was looking at Rauschenberg's work, and I thought, what if we make a virtue out of the bad workmanship? What if it becomes part of the palette? What if you use it? And that's when I started to do that.
Frank isn't an architect of the precious. He's an architect of the gritty, and taking the gritty, the ordinary, the chain link, and elevating it into something that has art in it.
I picked a material that was hated universally, chain link. And I thought, I'm going to study this thing and see where the edge is. I liked the idea of having a kitchen on the driveway. I would light it when we had guests over so that it looked like you were sitting on the driveway and looking at the old house. It was kind of a voyeuristic thing.
When the house was completed in 1978, the neighbors often referred to it as an eyesore.
One of them was an architecture critic, and he trained his dog to relieve itself on the house.
The guy across the road came over one day and he said, I don't get it. What are you doing? I said, I'm copying you. He said, what are you talking about? I said, well, look at your house. You're repairing your car in your front lawn. The backyard, you got 2 trailers, you got chain link fence, you got corrugated metal. I said, I'm using the same thing. Look, God. He said, oh, but mine's normal.
The abnormalities even spread to the furniture. Throughout the 70s, Frank designed a range of cardboard chairs whose popularity helped pay for his Santa Monica house.
A chair is a miniature design problem. It's a mini building. Almost every great architect has done a chair. And, Frank's cardboard chair is so Frank, right? Here's cardboard, it's crummy. And yet Frank makes it into kind of this, slightly chaotic looking thing that's, above all, comfortable.